Warning, the Spoilercast does contain spoilers of current and past movies, books, video, games, TV shows, and possibly your life. So if you're listening to a show called Spoilercast and you're pissed off that we gave away spoilers, we really don't care. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.
Hello and welcome to Spoilercast by All Tower Media. I am Roper, and tonight I'm joined by Hall. How are you?
I'm well. And yourself?
I haven't seen you in a while. You haven't been in the studio with us because we've been away and all that good stuff. But
yeah, you don't invite me.
I invite you for the ones.
Right?
I invite you for the ones that are pertinent. Okay.
You don't write.
I get a hold of you for the ones that I'm like, you would be really good to talk to you about this one on. I do. I always do. I always try to think of the
Still
person.
waiting on the war movie one.
Dude, we did the one for Fury.
Weird.
No, we did the one for Fury, and you were on for it. Because we talked about the
tanks. Not a war movie. That was like just
we talked about the tanks.
That's a movie, not
we talked about the
war
tanks.
Movies in general.
It was a delightful episode. I enjoyed it. You had really wonderful contributing facts about the tank that they got out of the museum. Yeah. I remember these things. I've also got Steve Jobs sitting. Shawn. Hi, Shawn.
Is this the clean podcast?
This is the joke.
Oh, no. These are the jokes, people.
Okay.
These are the jokes.
You motherfucker.
You look like Steve Jobs.
No, man.
You kind of do sitting over there with the turtleneck. The black.
See?
Yeah, I totally see it.
The
second you saw that, I was like, yeah,
man.
I got that.
I like
totally
pullovers. I've worn 2 turtlenecks in my entire life. I like pullovers.
You do?
So
okay, so 100% of the time.
I have a wardrobe. People who know me
You
know.
do. You have
V-necks and pullovers.
Anytime I have ever seen Shawn,
with the V-neck?
anytime I have ever seen Shawn, he has been in a pullover, and he'll unzip it because he'll be sitting over just sweating, and I'm like, why are you wearing a pullover? He's like, I like my pullover.
I can't remember the last time I sweat in one.
You were when we were doing the recorded RPG over at Andrew's place.
Oh, yeah.
You were sweating your nuts off.
Yeah, I was hot.
And then he has a surplus of shoes.
Oh, yeah.
He is a shoe fiend.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm a shoe whore.
I feel like you missed an opportunity to use the word plethora.
I mean, I didn't skip it. I was kind of building to it. I mean,
okay.
Shawn's the kind of guy that would build like a rotating shoe rack in the middle of his room to display the just stockpile of shoes.
I don't have the space for a rotating rack, so I just have shelves on the wall with a sign above them.
What about like a tread one that works like an escalator or something?
See, now you got ideas right there.
I mean, you've seen Fifth Element. You know the gun thing that he has, right? So
Yep. I love sneakers, man.
And apparently you're a guy that builds stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting out of this. Between this and our earlier conversation, that apparently is something you do.
That is a thing.
Among many things.
Dire Monkey, how are you?
Peachy.
We just got done doing the last episode of Spellcast.
We did.
It was a good one, too. We talked about the 1989 Batman.
Nice.
Yes,
nice.
We did.
See, I would like to have been in on that.
Well, I mean, that's their show, so...
fair enough.
I don't know anybody.
I mean, if you want, if Dire Monkey wants, I can start just... I might be like, what are we talking about? That's the movie. I know some people for this. If you want, I'll start tagging people.
Yep, tag people.
And you know me, I'm opinionated. I've got opinions on just about everything.
So when's the last time
The only issue with the Spellcast is it's clean.
It is a clean one, so Shawn wouldn't be able to,
That's
retaliate verbally at me for calling him Steve Jobs.
Do you have it on a delay so you can?
It's all post recorded. So I mean, he does, but it's extra work for him. So
I can be clean when necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
So Thor Ragnarok. What'd you guys think? I want to know what you guys think. I'll start with Justin. What do you think, Mr. Justin?
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It in many ways it lived up to the hype, but in a lot of other ways I don't know. I still have mixed feelings about the whole mixing of the Planet Hulk storyline with Thor Ragnarok, because that's not a prior thing to this. And so I have some mixed opinions on that, because I think Marvel really missed the boat on the fact they could have done a Planet Hulk
easily
thing their own and, done a complete story arc for it, and it would have been amazing. It would have been great. Of course, they would have to, relaunch their Hulk whatever on its own.
I think the thing we're seeing though is that the consolidation allows for both of those storylines to be roughly danced past. So you go, okay, this is the thing, and this is the thing. All right, we're moving on.
Yeah, no, they did a good job of it. I mean, but they changed some significant stuff, and I think when I say they missed the boat, I mean the Planet Hulk series alone was a great story arc, but then they were able to bring in other characters, and they could have kept something going and made something of interest and really built on it.
It would also stay
as it is. It's now just going to be part of Thor and be part of.
I don't. Do you think that they're going to get another Hulk movie? We've only had the one.
What?
Like an independent Hulk one by itself. We've only had the one so far.
No, I haven't.
3.
No, we've had
no. Okay. For what is incorporated in the MCU as it currently stands.
There's
been one.
Okay.
Because it was Edward Norton, and then we switched gears, and then we've never had another one.
Thank God.
Do what?
Thank God. To the switching gears part.
Well, right, okay.
Yeah. Well,
you didn't like him as Bruce Banner?
I didn't mind him as Banner. I think the movies sucked, and I think that's a disservice to Norton, because I think he's a great actor, and he's got, he has a presence, and I liked him as Banner a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the movies were a disservice, and I think he was let down by his source material and the writing. And I love Ang Lee, but dear God, those were a mess.
I completely agree. Like all the Hulk movies, like they've actually, I think all of them did a pretty good job casting. I mean, even Eric Bana didn't do a bad job.
Yeah.
It's just the storylines were crap.
Yeah.
And there's only so much you can do when you have a horrible storyline.
Dude,
it's interesting.
Tim Roth was my favorite in those.
It's interesting when they take.
I liked him. I liked the Abomination, man. It was one of my.
I liked having the Abomination.
I love Tim Roth, but that wasn't my favorite role.
Yeah,
True.
I think it's sort
your
of
favorite role is Owlman. I know you.
No, man, Dutch. When you cast people who are powerful actors like Eric Bana and Edward Norton in the role, it's hard to tell whether it's just really easy for somebody to play Banner, if that makes sense, or if we've just cast great guys as Banner and the movies have failed them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's my...
Yeah, and that's kind of the side I lean on. So it kind of sucks because we've seen some people fall in there. To be fair, while I like Mark Ruffalo, he's the bigger puss of the three as far as the Banner side of it. Like, he's the weenie kind of like...
I think it pays more...
I also find him the least believable.
I do too. I do too.
Hey, this is a scientist guy.
Is he? Are you?
Yeah.
But are you?
Yeah. Like, I don't... I think both Bana and Norton play that part better. But I also think Edward Norton is one of the better actors out there. I may not like him, on a personal level from whatever, but I think he's one of the best actors in Hollywood.
Oh, I love him.
And I wish he was doing more work than he is.
Yep.
So, what did you think overall, Mr. Shawn?
I loved it for a couple reasons. I loved it because this was the most non-Marvel movie of any of the ones they've done so far.
Ant-Man?
It still had a real Marvel feel.
Think so?
This did not.
It's a heist movie with a Marvel overlay.
It is, but the character was so the character was so tied into. I got educated in Marvel from Ant-Man, if that makes sense.
Really? Okay.
Because I'm the geek who doesn't read comic books, right? I've grabbed issues before, and I've had comics, but I've never followed any particular comic line or any particular.
Yeah, you're not a page turner.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, it was kind of like a glimpse into things that I hadn't seen before. So, but it had a very distinct Marvel feel for me.
Okay.
This was the best buddy cop movie of all time. Seriously, no, it was.
No, I
get I understand what he's saying. Yeah,
totally.
For me, that relationship between Thor and Hulk,
not
fantastic.
Hulk, not Banner.
Yes.
Hulk.
Yes,
and the writing was fantastic. The humor was spot on. And one way I can judge a superhero movie, on its mainstream appeal, not just to the nerds and the hardcore, the diehards. Is if my wife will not only stay awake through it, okay, but if on the way home she wants to do nothing but talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened when we walked out. From the moment we walked out of the theater at Alamo, my wife was asking questions. She's like, it was so good and it was so funny. And then she wanted to know about this character and that character and how they tie into this and that. And the thing that she loved about it was, unlike Avengers, where every 2 seconds she's like, wait, so is he the guy that was in the... There's too many. Hold on. I need to catch up.
Un momento, por favor.
She had an opportunity to absorb into 2 characters here, you know?
Yeah.
Get to see a glimpse of a few others and how they tie into things.
This is why I really enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy 2 over the first one. The first one established a baseline for us, and we're like, okay, these are the characters, this is what it is we see. But the second one actually got to dive into who those characters were.
And give them depth.
Exactly, and that's why I liked it over the other one.
Even though they ruined it with ego.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I guess.
Don't be like that.
Sorry, they ruined a perfectly good storyline.
And I get that, and that's fine. I mean,
you're a page turner then.
He's not a page turner. Okay, so
at one time.
Okay.
He is different, okay? He was a page turner. He stopped being a page turner. He wanted to keep up on it, so he checks out people that are page turners' YouTube channels that feed information and backstory to
Fair
them.
enough.
I've got enough of a base that I really don't need to turn pages to understand everything.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So he has a different approach than most people. He still stays on top of the comic book information, just in a different application.
I got you.
And that's fine. It still fits. The point that I'm making, though, is in what the MCU has been doing this entire time, what they did with Thor Ragnarok, where they didn't go down the path of Planet Hulk and the Ragnarok story, and they didn't go down the same path that they always did for fill in the blank storyline prior to that. They've taken what we already know, and they've gone askew. And so now, instead of being, here's where we're at, we're over here someplace, and it's still similar, but it's not the same.
Let me ask you a question. Since you bring that up,
Yeah.
does, as a fan and as a page turner, does that bother you?
No, because
so many storylines with
there.
comic books
That's
anyway.
exactly right. There's
That's
so
the beauty
many
of comic books.
Well,
you
that's-
can do anything.
That's why we're getting.
It's also the frustration.
It can't be.
Fair enough.
For especially for page turners, like they get committed to one particular
Correct.
storyline. So when they see something that's not that, but it could be
Captain
or
America's
so
evil.
close.
But that's their story.
Well,
watching them go
he's
crazy.
He's back to not being
Right.
By the way,
I
but-
did see.
Yeah. No. I mean it.
But I watched the literal fallout on on social media when that issue dropped and the insanity that happened.
Well, and I didn't understand.
rage.
And see, I didn't understand that. Like for me, I was like, I wish they hadn't done that, but whatever. Like it was such a non-issue, and because one, it's a comic book, so I'm not going to get too bent out of shape over it. But two, like. It's a freaking comic book. What do you like? Have you never? If you've ever read comics, you know there's 102 different storylines.
Have
one
you seen-
so and so's alive. The other one he's dead. This one
Have
he's
you
done
seen,
this. This one he's
Alternate universe.
Have you seen the
But what
Batman?
if?
Have you
Earth
seen the
2?
Batman where Batman is actually a vampire and he's not Bruce Wayne at all?
Oh my god.
I know of it. I have not actually.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
actually a thing.
Wow.
There's also the Batman where Bruce Wayne died and his father Thomas Wayne is
He
actually
and
Batman.
his mom becomes the Joker. I
Yeah.
mean, there's iterations all the way across the board.
Did you, since you mentioned how this kind of continues that tendency to kind of diverge, and shift a little bit, did you guys get a semi-Flash Gordon vibe from this movie?
Oh my God, yes.
from the set. Yeah,
I loved that. There was it's almost like non-conscious nods to, or if they were conscious, it was done so incredibly well, so as not to be a direct tip of the hat to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
And I
wish
love
they
that.
would have dressed Goldblum up as like he totally would have made that. It's funny because you say that because I thought that at one point. I was like, God, I feel like I'm watching like Flash Gordon from the late 70s, early 80s, or whenever it was.
I loved it.
So, Dire Monkey,
It was hilarious.
what did you think of this movie? I know you went and saw it.
I did. It's probably the first movie in a long time, first Marvel movie that I walked out and thought, I wish I could go buy another ticket and go watch it again.
Oh yes,
Really?
we agree on a movie for the first time.
Really enjoyed it.
Do you hate all the other Marvel movies, or
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Like, this one was just by far the most fun,
Yes, Amen.
entertaining. I enjoyed the story, thought it was well written, well acted.
I honestly think I laughed a little too hard at Loki falling through the portal and saying, I've been falling for 30 minutes.
Yes,
No,
yes,
the
yes.
whole theater erupted. Yeah. Everyone thought that was hilarious. I think I think.
Oh, you think you're a wizard? Oh, and he's like rolling his sleeves up like he's gonna get him, and you're like, oh, you don't know what you're in for.
There are so many like little tongue-in-cheek moments that are so fantastic in this. When Thor gets the ultimate body slam from Hulk,
right?
And Loki stands up and he goes, "That's what it feels like." I was dying. I was dying.
The fact that Thor was actually winning that fight was kind of fantastic.
It was great the way they played it.
Dude, they were winding that up.
Yes, they were.
Oh man, they were winding that up.
That was my one disappointment with the movie. Was that would have been
a defining moment.
Well, that reveal would have been a fantastic moment to be a surprise in theaters. And instead, Marvel didn't even telegraph it. They literally made it the marketing aspect of the entire movie on every trailer. I feel like if they would have just left that out and had that be a reveal, like when he opens up and he's like, "You're incredible!" Oh, and I swear to God, the theater would have just erupted in freaking chaos.
It would have been so messy in there.
It would have lit on fire. The whole place.
And instead, Marvel, they just...
That's my one complaint.
Like, telegraph the shit out of it.
That's your complaint right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just... if they
because they end up having the big reveal, the twist being the destruction of Asgard.
Yeah,
right?
Well, you saw that in the trailer too.
There's so much content in this
specifically.
movie.
Yeah. You don't know it's that. I mean, you can make assumptions, but you don't know it's that.
Right.
There's so much content in this movie. I could literally have taken all of Marvel's trailers, just bring them into Premiere, clip all the Hulk content out of it, and still have an insanely compelling movie to bring people into the theaters without the knowledge that he was going to be in it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
How many of you guys thought it was, and I'll start over here with Hall. How many of you guys thought it was kind of weird that Banner wasn't getting the fact that they're not switching roles and he's like, "I'll be Tony"? I mean, was that kind of odd to you? Because it was kind of odd to me that he's sitting there, he's all dressed up. He's like, "Well, if I'm having to dress up," like they almost made him kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Really over the top dumb. You think that's just them trying to really sell the fact that you've been Hulk for so long, so it's kind of made you this way?
He's Hulk drunk, I think.
You think is that it?
I honestly think it was just them trying to add levity. Like they really did. I mean, everyone puts like, "Oh, I think they were trying to do this." I really don't think they put that much thought into it. I thought they just figured it would be really funny.
Yeah.
And it was just a way to throw that in there and you know, why not?
That's fair. Sean?
If I was to go with Dire Monkey's thought, which I like the idea of, if they were just trying to be funny, I feel like they kind of missed the mark. Mm-hmm. If they were intentionally trying to present this as like part of his mind is a little bit busted,
right? Because
of this, you know, Hulk drunk was a great way to put it, Monkey. I like that because it adds some depth there to what's going on with him, and that makes that a little more real, and it does still highlights the comedy of it, but also a tiny bit of tragedy because this was a really funny movie, you know.
Yeah.
But it is a little sad, the idea that, you know,
he's like
the green guy could be
the fact that here as soon as he switches back, right? He's not Hulk anymore. He switches back and he's just
that Hulk. I've been Hulk for 2 years.
The fact that he looks at him and he immediately goes to did we win?
Did we win? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you talking about, man?" And because
that's a big moment.
And
it's such a simple line.
Yeah. He's like, "Whoa." He's like, "Is everybody okay? Did we win? Did it work?" And you're like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "You know, the fight with the robots and all of the craziness." And he's like, "Oh, that was like forever ago. No, we're in a new situation now."
I just felt like everything with Banner was
off the mark.
Well, you know, he made the comment about it being, you know, if they're trying for levity, I think they kind of missed it. But I kind of feel like everything with Banner, that's really all that's really all it was, because they wanted the Hulk, everyone wanted the Hulk, and that was, you know, part of the cool storyline. But everything else, I mean, right down to him falling and freaking throwing himself onto the bridge, which was hilarious. That one did make the mark for me. Like, I thought that was hilarious, even having the dog like nose him. I mean, that was awesome.
So amazing.
Everything about Banner to me was, I mean, because like you talked about him being dumb. It was like when they're going through the singularity, we're going through that one. Like, he just really doesn't there's like one or two times that you really get the impression that, hey, he's Mr. Intelligent Science Guy. Everything else was like, I'm here to fill time. That now, and I didn't mind it. I thought they did a good job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not tearing it apart because I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. But like, that was kind of how I felt about everything with Banner.
They made such a point of the whole his like in your face. I'm the one with the PhDs. Like I've got all these PhDs. I'm the smart guy. Right. And then they spent so much of the Banner time making him look like a buffoon. So, and for me, that kind of, it's a bit of a disconnect, you know? He's a very logical guy, right?
Right.
And everything he does in his work life, or what was his work life before he became Hulk. And let's not forget, like, if we look thematically, and I understand we're not supposed to connect the dots between the previous Hulk films, they were expected to be, I mean, it was serious stuff. Like, he's seriously fucked up about this whole concept of Hulk. He wants to get rid of it, right? This is a lifelong endeavor to try to find a cure.
And everyone's using him specifically for the Hulk.
For the Hulk side, right. And Banner here is kind of like, I have degrees, but I'm kind of a lifelong buffoon and moron. You're right? When it comes to just general life practice, I'm an idiot.
That's why the decision there at the very end where he's like, don't worry, I got this, and he jumps out and lands on the bridge is kind of a big moment ending in hilarity, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, I get that all of that stuff is important. Being the smart guy is important, but in this moment right now, the thing to do is go down there and
let me ask you a question, because that scene is fantastic. Do you guys think in Banner's mind he thought he could Hulk out before he hit?
Yes.
Or do you think he was planning on letting the impact be? It's way funnier if he thought he could Hulk out before he hits.
I think he could Hulk out because, again, if you go back to the comics, that's what he always does. Like, it's always the moment before death that Banner
Hulk
turns
jumps
into
in
Hulk
and takes over.
And it's always this theoretical thing of, if someone could kill Banner as Banner, then they've killed the Hulk. But they always do it in such a way that it never quite happens. It's either just before, or they just injure him.
That
and
causes
the
the
Hulk,
transition.
That's why they talk about that moment where he's like, you kidding me? I put a gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger. It doesn't work. He's like, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, tough cookies. It won't happen. The Hulk won't let it happen.
That was a fantastic moment, though. Like, him hitting that bridge. I'm like, that scene defined like what this movie like you know what I mean?
He was a bug on a windshield.
I was
at that
actually
moment.
expecting, like, when they show it, I was expecting him to just like land on the wolf's head and be big and green.
Right.
And then they did that. I'm like, that was awesome, because that's exactly what I would have done. I would have been like, okay, and on this scene, you're gonna splat and it's gonna be awesome. Thump.
Okay,
yeah.
So, what did you think of the Asgardian with the head tattoos?
Scourge?
Scourge. Thank you. That had the rifles. Before you answer that, I know full well, Shawn was counting bullets because I heard you 2 seats down counting bullets.
I'm like, fuck this.
You didn't suspend your disbelief. I didn't do it for the 1989 Batman movie.
No.
You didn't do it for the size of his magazines.
By the way, I want to say the best part about the 1989 Batman movies, he kills a fuck ton of people at the end of it.
Yeah, he does.
Like, that is by far the best part about that entire movie. It's like, Batman doesn't kill people unless he's throwing them from buildings left and right.
Or the moments where he literally zeroes in on Joker's head and opens up active machine gun fire. So we'll just ignore that.
So sorry, that was a sidetrack. You brought that up and it was funny. No, the gun thing was Scourge. So again, they kind of
he was so proud of those things.
Yeah, and those that's you have to suspend disbelief.
Did you like him as a character or not?
I'm rather indifferent. He's nothing like the comic book version of himself,
right?
Which, okay, they're changing stuff, and I really didn't care. He was kind of a necessary evil in the fact that, like, he's a weaker character, but you had to have someone fill that slot.
Yeah.
And who else are you going to have do it? I mean, you really don't have a lot of options because it can't be any of the Warriors 3. It can't be certain ones. Like, it can only be certain people. So
how'd you feel about them dying?
I'm kind of surprised in some ways because I kind of figured Marvel would want to keep them for perhaps later movies. And let's face it, they're not necessarily gone. I mean, they're dead until
this
the
is a comic book movie.
They're dead until the comic book writers find some way to. Oh, and by the way, we found some way to do something
magic.
Yeah. They came in from the multiverse. I mean, whatever. I was disappointed in how quickly I wanted it to be at least a more spectacular instead of, there was that.
I mean, I think the idea there is they're showing how over the top
powerful
Hela
she
is.
was.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with her killing them that quickly. I just wish it would have been like.
Because there's that whole dance of death thing she does to an entire Asgardian army.
Right, and that was cool. And I wanted the Asian one, I wanted all three of them to be more like what his was. I was totally okay because I mean she dealt with him quickly both times. I mean it really still showed the over the top power, but it gave a nod to his being far superior to a regular Asgardian, whatever. And so I kind of wanted all three of them to have been that way, but it was what it was, and I'm not.
I think the first.
I just don't care.
I think the first guy he got kind of caught flat-footed, so that's not really his fault,
right?
So, the marking on the ground outside of the door where Heimdall is hiding everyone is literally the tattoo on my back.
Nice.
I don't know if you know that or not. As soon as I saw it, I jabbed Andrew in the side, and I was like, "Oh, I have that as a tattoo on my back. I've had it for years now."
I will say this too about the mention of Heimdall. A couple weeks before I went and actually watched the movie.
Yeah.
There was an article that was floating around that I found that talked about Idris Elba stating how much he hated being a part of and he was just upset, done with it, and just angry about the whole thing, and that he had trash talked it and got fired. So when they showed up and Heimdall was gone, I was like, wow, they really they're making a point to cut him out.
Playing.
Yeah, they weren't playing, and then he showed up, and I'm like, So I started looking up, and I couldn't even find the article I'd read, but I was kind of surprised because I'd read this article and I thought he just Garfield himself.
Oh man. That reminds me of Zombieland, where Bill Murray, they're talking to him like, "You got any regrets?" And he's like, "I don't know, maybe Garfield."
I just, now that you mentioned it, I was like, man, I got to read that. It's actually on Cinema Blend, and they I mean, they're, you know what I mean? They're pretty canon, and it's a whole article on how much he hated doing Thor 2. And that kind of sucks. Just, you know what I mean?
I wonder if he's pretty much going to be gone from any future endeavors, but they were so far into this and he was just too critical they couldn't recast him at this point. Yeah. But you know what, screw it. Well, everyone's just going to have to get along to hate each other until we can finish this, and then we'll figure something out in the next storyline.
Yeah,
that would be my guess, because I know this technically went into production on some level before Thor 2 was even released. Now I don't know what level that was, but I mean, I don't know if it's just writing or what, but
so I love Idris Elba a lot.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
I was campaigning. I probably would have tattooed it on me if it would have got him the job. I wanted him to be Bond. I really like Idris Elba, but this comment that he made to an interviewer regarding the process and why I didn't want to do it makes him sound kind of like an elitist, pretentious highbrow jerk. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
So
what's the comment?
So he's English?
So he's in.
I kid.
Please don't trip over the mic he just dropped on. It says in the actual scene, my hair was different. I was like, this is torture, man. I don't want to do this. My agent said, you have to do it. It's part of the deal. He goes, I'm actually falling down from a spaceship, so they had to put me in a harness in this Greenstein studio. And in between takes, I was stuck there with fake hair stuck on my head with the glue, this fucking helmet while they reset. And I'm thinking, 24 hours ago, I was fucking Mandela. And there I was in this stupid harness and this wig and a sword with contact lenses. It ripped my heart out. I can understand, going from playing one of the most powerful characters, or people, I should say, in history, socially, right? And then going to playing Heimdall, I can understand what he's saying there. But the comment and the way it's phrased, does sound a bit shitty.
And the fact is, it's like that's kind of the thing about being an actor, and like to me,
you play all kinds of roles.
And barring his comment, looking at the fact that he played that and Heimdall, like to me that like improves my opinion of his acting ability. You know, we talked about Edward Norton. You know, I think he's a wonderful actor. So many of the big name actors are actually crappy actors. They only have one character they play. They just have to find roles that work very well for that character.
You leave Nicolas Cage alone.
I don't even get me started on that. But there are a precious few actors who truly do dramatically different roles.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, whether it's Norton or DiCaprio or some of the others, they are extremely talented at what they do.
Why is it that he's so incredibly talented and we all fucking hate him?
Because you don't really hate him deep down, you subconsciously love him.
No, I despise the self-righteous, hypocritical little cunt.
True. So here's the
I'll stop beating around the bush if you ask me to.
I mean, you know, call a spade. But who was sad to not see Sif in this?
Oh, Lady Sif?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that the actors had other obligations. I get that, but I kind of was hoping. You know what I mean?
I half expected her to make some sort of cameo or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, especially given, you know, like we're mentioning Valkyries, which that was underwhelming. I mean, it was.
It was.
I liked her character. I liked that chick's character. I mean, I really do. It was really cool. But I mean, just the whole like Valkyries and like, you know, going back to some of the hype for the movie, you know, they slow mo the whole like Valkyries riding into battle, yeah. And then like that's like what a flashback of all of 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm just like, come on, man.
Did you like Loki's? That must have been a painful memory.
Yeah.
So okay, I really have to admit, I really enjoyed watching them going up the elevator, and he's like, I'm not doing call for help or
get help. God, yes.
I'm not doing get help. And he's like, but it's so effective.
Yeah. And then he throws him.
And then he literally does it.
And he goes, I love get help.
He's like, I hate it so much.
And he goes, well, I can see why, but
I love how it's the hit a motherfucker with a motherfucker guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so I want to get everybody's opinion on this. Shawn, I'm going to start over here in your corner because I've started over here the other times. The Rock dude, what are your opinions of him? The guy, the comic relief.
Oh, my God, he's fantastic.
You think so?
Yeah, I love his Australian accent.
I hate him.
No.
He's totally useless to me.
No. Useless is I don't know about that term.
Hey,
so
listen,
Scourge's character.
Listen, new Doug.
Ouch.
So
Scourge's character.
So Scourge's character's really vanilla, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's there. He plays his role. He's there to paint in this arc there.
He was there because they didn't have a better option.
Yeah. Right. And it brings another Marvel character in that people who are fans can go, oh, Scourge that guy's not as badass as he's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But he fills a role, and he does, whether it was Scourge they did it with or someone else, he fills that little gap there between her and the good side of things, right? And that barrier of like, am I doing the right thing?
Right.
And honestly, if I had to pick someone out of a hat who's going to be best to do that, I mean, might as well. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to get his own movie.
Right.
No.
So,
and he's such a minor character in every, even in the, like he's a minor bad guy. Like,
so that's what I think of as disposable, or I could live or without him or not. But the Australian, I forget his name.
I know, I forget. He's a comedian.
What is it?
Taika
Waititi.
It is.
Here's the deal. If he hadn't have had that accent, okay, and hadn't said brew, because I love that word, he probably wouldn't have been as effective. But because of the way they portrayed him and his accent together, it worked great for me as a character. I thought he was awesome. He was great comic relief. He added an element of humor and fun that wasn't stupid.
Oh, wait, that's the actor's name.
Yeah, and he's the director, too.
Taika Waititi?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, dude, now I even love him more.
He's the director.
That's fantastic.
How do you spell that?
It's TAIKA Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was funny. So, why did you dislike him so much?
I just,
Did he get on your nerves?
It's the fact that, could you scroll up, please? Thank you. Keep going. Thank you. Okay. Right-hand side of the screen. I'll let you scroll down real fast and go back up. There you go. Keep going. There you go. That's good.
Where's the...
It's Tim Curry, is it? I'm not doing it.
Korg. Korg was his name.
I knew what that had to have been. That's why I was like, "Where's the scary,
it's the
scary clown? Come on, give me the clown."
Literally glaring into my soul.
I know,
over
it's
here
awesome.
On the screen. It's not awesome. It was terrifying. Anyway, so it was making me uncomfortable to the point I had to stop the show and make him scroll.
By the way,
Korg.
I was going to try and trap you in your apartment during the whole It thing.
Nope.
I was going to get a life-size one and set it in front of your door and just let you marinate.
No.
Sorry.
Anyway,
carry on.
so I didn't particularly care for him because I feel like in a lot of these movies that we're getting, Star Wars has done it a couple of times with a few of their characters, but not as bad, where you've got this one character that's kind of like the comic relief-esque.
Wait, hold
not
on.
necessarily. So, okay,
Are you drawing an unspoken parallel to Jar Jar here?
In my opinion, he's BB-8. And BB-8 was actually useful in Star Wars. That's why I don't have a complaint against him.
Okay.
Or it, rather.
So you're saying you're
With
indifferent.
This,
you didn't hate him. You're indifferent.
Yeah, I could have completely done... The whole movie could have been totally done without his character.
Except BB-8
entirely.
is...
Whereas BB-8
fucking
is
awesome.
actually... Exactly.
Lovable.
Exactly. Exactly.
The only possible way that I could have ever seen them replacing R2 as a parallel and doing it well, like, he is fantastic.
He is, and I don't argue that.
So,
but with this, what I'm saying is that with all of the things that were happening in Star Wars and all of the seriousness that's occurring with it,
okay,
he's the comic relief. He's this cartoony character that's kind of there along with all of the seriousness. Whereas that
is Star Wars. Like,
shut your dirty mouth. In this, I'm sitting over here and I'm looking at this character. He literally walks in the room and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'm like, "No,
get out of here, get out of here, Ghost."
No.
That was awesome. That was like
when he fucking kicked the wall.
Yeah.
And here I am over here shaking my head at it. Just no.
Get out of here, Ghost.
I could have gone the whole movie without all of that nonsense. Or the moment where he's like, "Hey, we're going to take this spaceship and get off the planet. What do you think?" I could have done
you want to come?
Yeah.
I could have done without all of that.
You want to come, Brew?
No. The first time he says it was like, okay, yeah, whatever. The second time when they're on Asgard, that was awesome.
Yeah.
When he says it then.
No,
honestly, I have to say I really was happy with the character because, like, if you read the Planet Hulk storyline, that same character, he's the hardcore fighter. He's got this deep, dark background. His brothers died.
But the fact that he's so freaking sunny in
all this other stuff, and he's this dark, brooding kind of big, mean thing,
and that's perfect.
But I mean, that didn't fit for the movie. We weren't doing Planet Hulk. We weren't doing any of those things, and the movie was more what it was.
Whimsical.
It was exactly. No, I thought he was awesome. My only complaint was if they're going to do an Aussie, I really wish they would have used Aussie Man Reviews to do all this stuff because I think that guy could have been funnier. But aside from that, I thought they did a great job. If you're going to have him, he's you've got Thor,
right,
and you've got Hulk,
yeah.
You don't need a big, giant, evil, brooding rock monster that's going to be a hard-nosed badass. You just don't need that.
I could have done. I could have used that.
I see what you're saying. Here's where I am. I see what you're saying. Like, we've got enough comic relief in this movie. We don't need him. Here's the thing: is in some circumstances, and I think I see what you're talking about. Adding that in can detract from. I don't think he took anything away from it.
And I do. I feel like he did.
I thought he was just a fun addition. And it took me a second to even think of who you were talking about until you explained a little more.
But the moment
I'm like, oh yeah, he was funny.
But the moment is that I'm watching this thing and we're going along and it's funny. Everything that they're doing, all the jokes that they're doing, all the punches they're pulling, all of the things. The fact that he grabs Odin by the back of the head going, well, you know good and well my hammer's not going to stop, so you might as well give it up, Loki. That's like those moments were hilarious. Okay? The fact that she gets off the spaceship and she's like, he's mine, and she falls off drunk off the other side. Those moments are hilarious. Okay? Yeah. And then you get to this guy and I'm like, no.
Let me ask you a question. taking into account the scene that he's introduced in, where Thor is now new in this place, he's displaced. Someone has to introduce him, and
that's fine.
And he was used as a catalyst for
but
story.
But then the
right?
fact that they continued on with him, totally useless to me.
Okay, so you're thinking like the initial scene with him in there,
and that'd have been that scene.
Give him a cameo, and
that
then let him...
scene right there, and then maybe the scene where he's like, okay, because he starts calling him the New Doug, and then the final scene where he's like, all right, well, tough luck, New Doug, and we would have been fine. But they decided to continue him on, and I'm like,
who's not snaring you, New Doug?
Like, it's this fucking guy again. Dire Monkey, what did you think of him?
I had no issue with him.
Really?
Take it or leave him.
Yeah.
But,
see, and I think that's part of my issue is I'm more on the other side where I'm like, leave him. Just no, we didn't need it.
He served a purpose.
To begin with, I will grant you all the fact that him being introduced into the new jail environment and establishing the rules that this is a combat thing and all that good stuff, that's fine. And even the punchline of, okay, well, now you had your ass whipped, and for as far as they all know, because they didn't put him back in the cells with everybody else, they gave him to Hulk as a plaything. You know, he's up there in the little Hulk suite. Yeah. You know, all of that, fine. So we could have cut it off right there at the knees where it's like, all right, well, that's you, New Doug, bye. And then we could have just completely moseyed right on past him, and I would have been totally on board with that.
So now that we're past your misgivings with a fairly tertiary character in the first place.
Yeah. But these are the thorns in my mind.
The question to the actual comic book fans in the room. So, Suitor, the big fire demon fucking thing.
Keep going, yeah.
Okay. This storyline for Ragnarok, is that how it went down? Did he just leave him to fucking destroy Asgard? So is he responsible for the destruction of Asgard? Is that how it all goes down in the comics?
Asgard does get destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay. And they do relocate.
To Oklahoma.
Yes.
Asgard is recreated in Oklahoma.
No.
Hold on.
Keep rolling.
They go from Space Fiji. Okay, wait. They go from Space Fiji to Oklahoma.
Yes.
Well, Sky Oklahoma.
Yes.
It's like hovering above Oklahoma. Like he takes a piece of Oklahoma and
no
levitates.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't think of it.
You're on. You're fine. He's adjusting.
Now that you say that, I actually can't believe that that's not legit. Like someone in the comic book world actually found a purpose for Oklahoma.
I really want to know
that's viable.
I really want to know how many people were drunk when they did that too.
I
want to know. So maybe you have the drunk guy that wrote it, but that has to get approved somewhere,
right? Exactly.
And then they had to draw at least at some point someone's like, I'm doing what? What? Oh, are you fucking? Are we really? Oh okay. Sure. What the fuck?
And I want to know. I want to know what arbitrary decision. Were there like a bunch of like states no one gives a shit about, like Kansas, Wyoming, Montana?
Missouri. I know where they got that list.
Missouri, Oklahoma, and then they just picked one out of a hat.
I know where they got that list. They got it from George Carlin. I mean, he has this exact discussion at one point in time when he's talking about the 4 prisons or the 4 states that you turned into prisons. He's like, give them a couple $100.
Give
them a couple $100 for their inconvenience and let them move out. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, see, that's where they got the list from. Anyway,
so they relocate to Oklahoma.
Asgard does get destroyed, and they do relocate to Oklahoma. That all becomes a thing. They do fart around in space for a little while.
Yeah,
for a short period.
So, and is Suitor like all encompassing, like world crushing, fucking powerful, like he was in this?
His purpose has always been to destroy Asgard. That's like his goal. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is rock hard for making that a reality.
Didn't they also have like his sword or something too?
Yeah.
Actually, in
the comics.
Like in the comics, like they actually have his sword in Asgard. Like they're guarding it because it wasn't the mask; it was the sword. The sword has to be drawn, and then.
So, question: did you guys have any misgivings with the fact that, while fantastic, the fight that he has with him? And he fucks his ass up, right?
The very beginning.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, at the end, when he unleashes him, it's like everyone must evacuate because there's no way that dude will tear my ass.
But that's the point.
Yeah,
is it because
they're letting him go?
They want him to destroy Asgard because they can't kill her without the destruction of
Asgard. Because the longer she's on Asgard, the more powerful she becomes.
But what I'm saying is here's a character that in the movie, he put a comical ass beating on, right?
Right.
And then
at the end, they're just letting him go.
The person he is incapable of beating now gets his ass whooped by the guy who he comically kicked his ass.
But it's because of the source of the power.
Yeah, it's okay. So
it's because she draws her power from Asgard. So he destroys Asgard.
His is the flame.
No. I'm saying she draws her power from Asgard.
Right.
So as he destroys Asgard, now
she's getting weaker as he's taking it out. That's right. That's why the moment where Hulk jumps up there and starts, he's like, giant monster. And
oh my god, that shit was funny as all hell. Thor's like, no,
and he's like,
no,
but monster, come on,
but big fire monster. Yeah, no. So those moments are hilarious. Rock moron on the spaceship going, let's get out of here, is not funny.
I don't know. I thought it was. And then he died. I've been carrying him for all this time. Oh, look, he's alive. That was some funny shit.
So big fire rock monster with Hulk and Hulk like fire. Thor like tiny fire.
Smoldering.
Those were some of my favorite lines in the whole movie. Those moments, that relationship between them is fantastic.
So, I really liked how natural the response of Loki seeing Thor or seeing Hulk for the very first instant when he comes crashing out, where he's like,
to leave.
He immediately jumps up and he's like, I have got to get off this planet.
That sweating balls moment. Oh yeah,
where his nuts tuck back up inside of him. That was the best. I was really kind of
and that natural transition to seeing Hulk kicking his brother's ass.
Yeah, where he's like,
and that look on his face. Thank God for Tom Hiddleston.
I know, right?
He acted the shit out of that scene. That look was pure joy. I would think that was for Tom Hiddleston. Fuck Loki. I thought that was the greatest moment of Tom Hiddleston's life. Right?
Oh, it was the best.
Seeing Thor get his ass kicked by Hulk.
I was really kind of hoping that when Thor's like, yeah, we know each other from work, and then he points at Loki, I was really hoping that Hulk would look at him and be like, you. And he's like, you're going to wait a minute, but you.
So his portrayal of Loki in this movie totally makes up for Kong Skull Island.
I know, right? Oh, man.
Got that movie.
And that cardboard cutout, shitty attempt at relationship building.
But was that really his fault?
No. It's not.
Again,
he was far better than anything else in the movie. But
hey, now I need to point out.
Seeing him drugged down to that point, though, this movie makes up for all that.
I need to point out.
They just can't come up with a good storyline for it.
I need to point out that Shawn was also counting helicopters in that movie and not suspending belief.
No, that's
that shit is bullshit. They've got 6 Chinooks on this goddamn thing, and all of a sudden they show 40 of them in the fucking sky.
Yeah, there's 18 going one at one time. Yeah, no,
it's called.
Come on, guys. This movie is literally trying to bring a bunch of military strategy to this. Did they not hire at least some fucking private
who'd
called
at least magic?
Come on.
So here's the thing. A lot of these movies do hire
consultants.
Give the consultants and stuff. And then they're like, well, what you're telling me, that's not going to work for what I want to do. And the consultant's like, well, yeah, because what you want to do is bullshit. And like, well, but I want bullshit. And the consultant's like, well,
then
I
why
guess
did you hire me?
No, that's a normal thing. There was an article not too long ago where a lot of consultants get pissed, and I guess it's not uncommon for consultants to be like, just go ahead and take my name off this. I'll collect my check on the way out. You don't even have to give me name credit.
Yeah, I'm good.
This is some bullshit.
I don't need people calling me later on and asking me why it's this way. Just take my name off this.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot.
Hey, that's fair.
And which makes one wonder, why do you even bother hiring a fucking consultant if you're not going to listen to them at all?
I mean, we want a little bit of continuity. I mean, a little bit.
Well,
a little bit.
I don't know if that's continuity, but reality, I guess, maybe?
No. See, we're looking for things to
terrible.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Scourge's M16s. If we can
Did
find
you like
those,
the names?
Hold on, what did he name them again?
It's Destroy.
Destroy, Des, and Troy.
Des and Troy.
Yeah.
Put them together. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's what I said. You kidding me?
I could hear him groaning from 3 seats away.
You probably heard me groan too. I don't know which one you went and saw, but
how long, Dire Monkey? How long we have here at the end of the episode? I think we're getting close.
10
minutes. So, I want to get everybody's kind of final thoughts here. What are some additional thoughts of something we haven't actually talked about that you want to add to this, Mr. Hall?
I had several, but none of them.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, but I can't remember any of them.
All right, that's fine. Do you have anything off the top of your head that you want to discuss about it?
Well, I was kind of disappointed whenever they took his eye. It's like,
were you?
Because they do that in
Same
the comics,
thing.
but they didn't do it then.
Right.
It's a completely different storyline. I wish they would have.
I kept
left
telling
that
myself,
intact.
wait, are they going to keep his eye gone? Wait, no, hold on, wait, no. And when the scene came in where he's got his official patch, you know, I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah, no, I kind of. And the thing that kills
and I
me
want to
is
know what kind of check they had to write him. Because he's Chris fucking Hemsworth, right? Like,
you know, all three brothers actually tried out for the spot of Thor.
Yeah, I did.
And that was his brother that did the lookalike for the Thor and the cameo.
Speaking of which, hold on. We haven't talked about the greatest parts of this movie. Let's talk cameos. Matt Damon. And who else saw his brother playing fucking dad in the play?
Yeah.
So the melodrama?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and do you guys see who else was on this fucking stage? Sam Neill? Like,
I wondered if that was or not for Odin.
Odin, yeah. I was like, how fucking awesome is this?
And see, like, the Damon kind of fit the Sam Neill. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
I like Sam Neill, so.
No, I do too, but it seemed just kind of out of place because, like, the last sci-fi-ish or whatever thing I can think of was Event
Horizon. Yeah.
I mean, do you not count Jurassic Park?
Actually, that's the last thing I can remember him in. So,
I mean, I guess it's technically sci-fi, but I mean, like, it doesn't. Yeah.
All right, that's fair. John, you got anything that you want to add to this, hodgepodge thing aside from your cameo deal?
Pure magic. This is up there on my top 3 for Marvel.
Yeah.
At
Dire Monkey.
I think the use of the Led Zeppelin song and then incorporating the symbols in Doctor Strange's spell.
Did anyone else feel like, though, like the marketing team was straight out of the late 70s, early 80s, just from all the music, the colors?
I actually think that was the intent.
It had to have been.
Yeah. Even the logo. The logo was straight 80s.
They kind of did, but they kind of did the same thing.
That's why I said
for Guardians of the Galaxies too. That's why they did the same thing with them, and that's why at the end of it you have the Guardians Inferno, which is delightful if you haven't watched it.
But I mean, for the Guardians of the Galaxy, you kind of have to do the 70s thing just because of the Peter Quill and all that. You don't have to for Thor. I mean, I was okay with it. I thoroughly enjoyed and have no complaints about it. But it seems kind of out of that aspect of it seems somewhat out of place.
Well, all right. So that's all that we have for Thor Ragnarok. Now, before I'm sorry, you're going to.
Here's one thing to think about.
Yeah.
If Infinity War is going to be as dark as this was light and fun, that's going to be a fucked up movie.
True. And I love it.
Is it actually supposed to be that dark?
Yeah.
From all the things I've read, it's supposed to be really fucked up.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Like,
it's going to be fantastic.
Who was it? Justin, who's directing? Now I've got to look it up. Or if Monkey beats me to it.
Monkey will beat you to it.
I think Cinema Blend had an article with him when they were trying to dispel all the rumors about whole Infinity War 1 and 2. And he and Marvel were trying to be very fucking clear that while they are telling 2 stories, there's not going to be an Infinity War and an Infinity War 2. There will be Infinity War, and there will be a follow-up, but it will be an entirely separate, independent fucking movie. And they were trying to be super clear about that for all the people, telling rumors. And that Infinity War is supposed to be the one that breaks everyone.
Director for Avengers Infinity Wars is Anthony Russo and Joe Russo.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be the movie that will break you. Like, it's everyone, it's the one no one gets out alive. It's the one that, at the end you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with this. On a side note, happenstance, the both of you share common ground of a variety, and the other day was your all's birthday. So happy birthday.
Yet.
When's your birthday?
Not that birthday.
Oh.
It's my second birthday.
Not that birthday, sir. So
thank you very much.
No, thank you guys. I wanted to. I literally, as I was like, I got Hall and I got Shawn going on here. I am gonna absolutely have to tell you to thank you, and I appreciate everything. I know you didn't get long-term opportunity given some circumstances with you because we got to hear that story at one point in time.
Yeah.
I know you got to be in for a little while, and if anybody doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, you guys were in the Marine Corps.
Yep.
So I appreciate that because it's something I never ever had the chance to do because I have medical things that prevented me from being military of any variety. But you guys got the chance to go out and do your thing.
Some Slovenia or Czechia or somewhere.
Probably. I mean, sign me up for the Chinese army or some nonsense, right?
No, they might actually expect something there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking some like
joke.
I'm betting some Eastern Bloc country.
Think
take
so?
you though. I mean, like you could be their their counter hacking or whatever.
Speaking from experience, having been there,
Intel.
and Bosnia is probably looking for a few people to guard a few things.
Yes, there's that guy. But you could be their cyber warfare.
No, I'm good.
I don't think you actually have to do anything.
You could
probably just play video games.
Could I do it from here?
Good chance. Good chance.
I don't want to.
I'm not sure what their internet speeds are over there. Probably better than ours.
I really don't want to. So like I said, as I was thinking about this, I'm like, I really need to make sure that before the end of the episode, I won't stop.
You said birthday because my birthday's Tuesday, so I was like,
well, yeah, happy birthday for that as well.
Yeah.
But I was also paying attention to the internet, and everybody was posting up a bunch of Marines eating crayons jokes, and you were doing it too.
You didn't see the crayons I like to eat though, did you?
No, I did. I did actually see those.
Yes.
And oh my, you would eat them too.
oh, okay. Would I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Every one of them.
All right.
Until you were
Sign me up.
until you were just content.
Is there ever content?
With this, you'd be content. Because you would either be content or chafed. Or both.
Well, I mean.
Is gluttony one of the 7 deadly sins?
In this, it wouldn't be gluttony. You're not actually consuming anything, sir. Anyhow. Dire Monkey, you got anything you want to add to this?
I think I'm good.
Good deal. Anything over here at Spellbook Studios we need to know about?
Not yet.
He's like, I shall not disclose. Oh, yeah, I'd eat the fuck out of those crayons. Oh, my God.
He's over here
Right?
going, I am eating crayons.
Especially burnt sienna and aquamarine.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and black. I'd eat some black fucking crayons. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, every time someone comes up with that, oh, you eat crayons joke, I always pull that photo out.
You better believe.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
So, just on a side note, real quick before we go, for those who do make jokes about Marines eating crayons, here's the deal.
See, I never got that joke.
Well, it's supposed to be about stupid grunts.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. Those people have never taken the ASVAB, because let me tell you something. There's a ranking system for the ASVAB, and the crayon-eating side of the ASVAB is the Army. So, if you... No,
100% true.
He's not wrong, yeah.
And so, if you want to know where that line is drawn, where their recommendation is, so...
Actually, and I don't know what, I'm sure this changes from year to year, but in 03, the Marine Corps actually had the highest ASVAB average of
I believe
all
it.
the services.
Which is the first time, because, those nerds in the Air Force were taking it for so long.
Wow.
So...
Then they got tied up in the chow hall with all the glorious food.
Can you really consider the Chair Force military?
The Chair Force. Really? I love that.
Well, that's because most of the Chair Force anymore, they spend their time in
the chow
trailers.
Hall.
No, they don't. They spend them in trailers
with
sitting in front of computer screens flying drones.
With their glorious food that they have selections
and
of.
You can't fault the Navy either. They're great.
Because whenever there's taxi service available.
Whenever there's a fight, they give us a ride. So,
Best taxi service out there.
Yep. So,
Call Blue.
That's right. We'll blue cab it.
And the Army is absolutely the finest maid service the United States military has ever produced. After we go in and take care of business, they come in and clean up. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I love you guys.
Have you ever seen the meme where it shows like the Army and the Marine Corps, like the stick figures fighting, and like Navy and Air Force gets involved, and then someone then has another stick figure comes on as the Coast Guard. It's like, guys, stop fighting, and they're like, you're not even a real service, and they all go chase him down and whip his ass.
Oh man, I know one of them as well, and I'm fairly certain he'd be a little angry about that. You know him too.
Oh, I know. I've made some jokes.
That guy looks like he could eat a piece of rebar.
You know what, though?
It looks like a silverback.
Yeah. That's exactly right. If he locked his knees and leaned straight forward, he could put his knuckles on the ground.
Well, what's funny is like I've actually seen a specific video where he jumps on the hood of a car and pulls someone through a window, and he looks like when given what he's wearing, he looks like a silverback gorilla jumping on the hood and just like knuckling down, reaching through and ripping this guy out. It's hilarious. And he's showing me the video. And I'm like, God, you look like a fucking silverback. I was like, oh shit. And everyone else just
loud.
Yeah. And everyone else just starts laughing. He just kind of looks at me. I'm like, well, but you do.
Is what it is.
Sorry, sir.
I would take that as an honor. Like, yeah, you look like a silverback gorilla. Hell yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Oh man! Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, listening to the episode here. Geek.0, you got stuff going on over there? Are you still putting along? I know you're posting up stuff constantly.
We're
tons of
prepping
updates.
Our pre-holiday best lists, just as far as the best electronics for the holiday season, TVs. OLEDs, consoles, all of that stuff, and the best deals.
Cell phones.
What about remote control vibrators?
Ooh, dude, I read that article.
Okay.
I read that article.
Did
We
you
talked
read that
about
article?
it on Spellbook.
Oh, did you guys talk about the information sharing one?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
So, just as a side note for all of you people out there in Candyland, if you're looking for a good adult-themed Christmas gift, I bought one for my wife. It's called a rooster. It is a small little device that she tucks away inside before she goes to bed. It has a little alarm on it. You just set the alarm, and it will wake her up with soft, gentle pulses that crest into a full-blown vibration, resulting in orgasm. And if there's ever a better way to wake your wife up, I don't know what the fuck it is. So,
I mean, if it was, the better way is with you. So.
But if you like to sleep in. Or she needs to get up before you. This, my friends, is a fantastic gift. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I look forward to reading your lists, all that good stuff. We're going to go ahead and close out the video, so I appreciate everybody tuning in and checking us out. Like, subscribe, share us around, all that good stuff, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye.
Hasta luego.
Make sure to check out our website, All Tower... Fucking hell.
Bloody hell, mate.
Let me try that one again.